Good morning, everyone. It's Penelope. I am taking a little break right now. I'm drinking some coffee. I've been weeding the garden and trying to decide how I'm going to do my fall garden. And while I was sitting waiting for my coffee water to get hot, I was like, oh my gosh, I am killing myself out here pulling these weed trees, is what I call them. Um, I'm investing my health, my body, my physical being. What is going to be the payoff? Well, I know what the loss is going to be. The loss is when I get to work and they put me on a job that's really physical. I'm going to be like, oh my god. So the loss is going to be pain. But what will the gain be? The gain will be fresh produce from my garden. That is the payoff from the investment in gardening. Okay. Investments, gains, and losses. We invest in a lot of things in our life and we don't think of them as investments. Well, when you get married, you're investing in a relationship, and sometimes you invest far more than the other person. So that can just be a pain in the behind. Okay. If you're a couponer, you invest in your inserts or your printing needs to print coupons. You are investing time to look at sales and deals and cutting your coupons and getting them ready and doing that and going through the stores. That is an investment. Now, your payoff with couponing is products cheap, and if you sell your products, you're gonna make a gain. If you donate your products, you're gaining in the heart. Okay, so there are payoffs with couponing, but there is a lot of investment in couponing. I spend for my inserts, but I always break even with my inserts from what I'm saving on products, and then I might gain a little bit more when people say, hey, do you have this or that? And I'm like, sure. So I sell them a $20 bag or a $10 bag. Sounds like a dope dealer. First time I told my husband, I was like, yeah, I just sold a $20 bag. He just looked at me like, what? Like, couponing stuff, honey. Couponing stuff. Oh, sun's coming out again. Great. Mother Goddess. Okay, so anyway, investments. Now, when you're a homesteader, your investment is a little different if you're a prepper. If you're a prepper, your investment doesn't pay off unless there's an emergency or an SHTF situation. So prepping's payoff is a security of mind, I think. I think that's the payoff of prepping. I am prepared for all kinds of different things that could happen. So I've got this peace of mind. So my prepper's payoff is peace of mind, knowing that if something happens, I'm covered. Now, homesteading. Homesteading is a huge investment. There are investments in every aspect of homesteading. If you're going to can, you've got to buy a canner, whether it's a pressure canner or a water bath canner or both. You're going to have to buy jars, tops, rings. You need to have those things in order to can properly. It's a big investment. Now, with the investment of canning, say you got your canner the first year. Say you got a water bath canner the first year and your neighbor has a bunch of cucumbers, because I'm going to tell you right now, cucumbers are probably the easiest thing to find other than green beans and zucchinis and squashes. Okay? So you look around, people are giving cucumbers away if you live in a rural setting. Now, if you live in the city, I would suggest going on Craigslist or wherever you may go and kind of look for, oh, the sun is like right in my face, people that are giving away cucumbers. Or grow some cucumbers, because cucumbers would be an easy grow. You can grow them in a pot. You can grow them in a trellis area. So that's what I would recommend if you wanted to start learning how to can. I would start with pickles. I would just start with pickles, dilly beans, because with your water bather, you know, you don't have to have that pressure canner. And so I would recommend starting off with a water bath canner and learn how to do pickles, maybe some dilly beans. My husband loves those. Those are so good. The long green beans, you put them in a pickling brine, you pickle them, and they're as good or better than a pickle. So dilly beans and pickles is what I would recommend doing. Then the next year, maybe invest in your pressure canner and do your green beans and your tomatoes and more substantial cans. And then grow, you know, then you can do your meats and your beans, your Great Northern beans or your dried beans. Those are always good to have on hand if you like beans. So when you're starting to homestead, there's always going to be that investment. So pick what investment you want to invest in first, whether it's just learning how to can, or for me, it's getting my chickens started. Okay. So my investment this year so far, I'm up to $435 for my chickens. Now, I do have some products that I've picked up here and there with coupons for my chickens, but I still need to get my food bins. I need to get all my feed. I need to get my grit, my oyster shell. I need to get all of my supplements. I need to get all of my first aid and care products, my cleaning products. You know, I mean, I still have a lot to invest in chickens before I even get the chickens. So my chickens are going to be a huge investment. Now, the chickens themselves are going to be very cheap. Okay? So I have to invest in all of their care aspects before I get the chickens. So I'm going to probably have about, and I'm going to say this is a roundabout number, $600 in my chickens. Okay? Or is that going to pay off? Not for a long time. And I'm okay with that because I want to get established. I want to learn. I've got to learn. You know, I've got to invest in order to get a gain. But I might have to get a loss in order to get that experience. Okay, so I'm going to be investing in chickens. Someone else might be investing in trying to learn how to can. They may not grow a garden, but they want to learn how to can. And that's perfectly fine. You can go to farmers markets. Hell, you can go to the grocery store. You know, start out small. You know, how many quarts fit into your water bath canner? You've got to buy jars. You've got to buy lids. You've got to buy rings. Start small. Small. So I'm starting small with my chickens, even though it's a little more expensive. But that's my first investment. My garden spots have already been established, but I'm also going to start a new garden spot out of the pens and out of my raised gardens and into the ground. So when I buy my hay and my straw for my chickens, I'm going to buy some to start layering my ground. I'm going to get my compost pile back in gear. So I've got a lot more physical investments as well. Now, homesteading investments. Next year, I will be looking at probably, and I might still do ducks this year. It depends on how everything falls. Because I really do want to get some khaki Campbells. I want to get about 5 hens and 1 drake. But I want to talk to a bakery before I do that to make sure that, you know, I'm going to have a market for my duck eggs. Because I love duck eggs, but I don't think I can eat 5 a day. I don't think I can eat 5 duck eggs a day. I just don't. I can't make 5 meals a day with duck eggs, plus my chicken eggs. So I've got to make sure that I'm covered. Now, I can give eggs away. That's no problem. But not everybody is going to want duck eggs. So I need to kind of find... But I want to get those 5 first because I don't want to have to introduce new chickens to chickens or introduce new ducks to ducks. And I kind of want to do little groupings so that way they all know everybody. And we don't have to worry about the pecking order. They're going to do that themselves and get it out of the way. And I don't have to introduce that kind of thing. So I still may get the ducks this year, but I'm not sure. Something else I'm investing in this year are 2 fruit trees that I'm buying. They are 35 bucks a piece. I'm going to buy 2 of them. I haven't decided. I think I'm going to go with either peach or cherry. I haven't decided yet because we found the little apples across the street. So I'm going to dig up some of their trees, bring them over here and start them when I get those trees ready. So we'll just have a row of my new little orchard going on. Okay. Now, investments. Other than that, next year we're going to invest in goats. Now, the goat themselves, people give goats away every single day out here. They just give them away. Here's what my goat situation will be. A lot of fencing. Fencing is expensive. Fencing and posts. And I can build a small area for them. I also have a place for them if that falls through. So, goats are my next investment. Now, these goats are going to be the cleaner goats in order to make the trail through the woods. Now, here's my gain. My gain is as they clean, I've got saplings that are about this big around. Okay? I'm going to cut all of those saplings, and those are going to be for decorative fencing or to help with my fencing area, help in my gardens. So the payoff there is to be able to get all of these little saplings and make poles out of them. So there's an investment. But you always make an investment. There's always going to be some loss. But even if there's a loss, you have gained the experience to know not to do it that way again. Now, I'm going to show you something really quickly. Now, as couponers, most of us started with binders and may have binders still. I just have a binder with a bunch of inserts in it, and I am a total hot mess when it comes to couponing right now. But I also have a binder for prepping. I have all of my prepping, my binder, my goals. I've hit them. So I still have my binder for my prepping. I still add notes to it because I'm still learning, you know. But I'm pretty much in the groove. I now have a homesteading binder. I'm so excited because this is where I'm going to put all of my notes. And so far, this needs to be put into one of the sleeve protectors. But this here is my need list. And what this is all about my chickens. This has everything I need for my chickens. Now, with my binder, I did put one of these pencil pouches in here. And in my pencil pouch, I have a couple of pens. I have the store manager's number for Rural King. I've got it right there. That's not where it's going to stay. But this here is for this note right here. It should go in this little thing. I also put one of the ball card holders from my coupon binder in here. So I can put little notes. You know, I can put in times or dates that I really need to look at. Maybe business cards of people. Maybe if I start my own back and forth with someone, I can kind of keep notes on there. When did I call? When did they call? If I'm playing phone tag. Working second shift, I play a lot of phone tag with people, whether it be the bank or wherever. Okay, now this one has my receipts. And the reason being is because as soon as I get my chickens and I find out how many chickens I need or what animals I need to be considered a farm, I can start using this in my tax prep. My property is already zoned for business and agricultural. So I'm already set there. I can start a business on my property without having to change my property status. It's amazing. I don't know how it was done that way. Long before, I don't know. I don't know if it was before his family purchased this house. I don't know. So anyway, and then I also have some notebook paper just in case I need to leave a note for somebody or I need to write down some notes. I've got that. Okay. Now, other things that I do recommend when you do start this, and I'm going to put recipes in here. I will probably put directions. But my main thing is like chicken care. When did the chickens come and when were they hatched? Because hopefully if I get chickens from Rural King, I want to know when they were hatched. How old are they? You know, and then I can keep track of when they start molting later on, who started laying eggs. You know, I can keep all of my chicken notes in here. So and so was sick. This is what I treated them with on day 1 and then day 2. So I can keep track of all of that. I can keep track of all of my feeds that I need or that I have. When did I purchase it? You know, I can keep track of everything in here, and it's all in one spot. And I think that's the great thing about a binder is you have everything in one spot so that when I open it up, see, I open it up, I just got back from Rural King and I've got my receipts, I can shove them in. I bought another 5 chickens. I can put that in there, you know, the day that I bought them, when they were hatched, blah, 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 what kind they are, everybody's names, so on and so forth. Now, other things that I have in here, I have a planner, so that way I can take that with me, and I have a notebook, and this is what I sit down and write my notes with. Right now, in the front of this one is all the chicken breeds that I'm interested in that I may put in for this time. We'll see. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of talk about this real quick. Right now, I'm investing my time in getting ready to plant the fall garden. And if you've had a summer garden and your tomatoes and your peppers are still going, fantastic. Mine are. I still have green. I've only collected 2 tomatoes out of my garden, 1 red and 1 green, because the green one fell off of these. There was so much rain, my tomatoes grew super, super tall, and they have like 1 or 2 tomatoes on them. So I do have a couple of plants that are looking pretty good. They still have some green tomatoes on them. My pepper plants are looking really good, but everything's going to be late here. So what am I going to plant in my fall garden? Well, I'm going to plant some squash. I am going to plant some radishes. I'm going to plant some cucumbers. I'm going to plant some beans, some peas, some more beans, and I'm going to plant some carrots. And people are like, why would you plant now? Summer's almost over. Well, I'm going to tell you. Your plants can work. What you do is you look at your fall date. You look at your frost date. You can go on the internet and find all that stuff, you know. But I'm going to plant a fall garden because I've got extra little areas and it's time to do that. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't know how it's going to work, but we're going to try it. It's time for me to invest in some more time and get back out there and weed. So I got to put my hair back up. There are no ticks in there, but we'll check again. So you all have a great day, and always remember, even though when you invest in something you might find loss, at least you've gained the experience and wisdom to know not to do it that way again. You all have a great day. Bye, everyone.